Attention bowlers, it's just about time to get started. Welcome back to Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. This is a doubleheader this evening. Anthony Leonardi at Kevin Martel and Chase Abramczyk at Bryan Hebert. The match format is 5 strings with 14 points on offer. It's 2 points per string, 4 for total pinfall. If there's a tie, the points are evenly split. Divide by 2. I'm Steve Kelly on the call for the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, brought to you by 3-Ball Spare Conglomerate. It's good as always to have you along with us. This match was played on Friday, April 18th, 2025. It's about 6:47 p.m. local time. Weather outside is quite warm. It's been sunny and cloudy. Kind of wavering in between cool and unseasonably warm. And we are just getting ready to get started. So I'd like to highlight a few things. First, this broadcast should have subtitles and live captioning enabled. So if you enjoy this feature, please feel free to enable it in the controls below. If you're watching this broadcast on YouTube, the transcript feature will also likely be available. Throughout the match, I'm going to describe the play-by-play action and provide up-to-the-minute scoring to the best of my ability. Keep an eye on the unofficial scoreboard on your screen. It's here for the benefit of the broadcast, where the bowlers maintain their official book records separately. Scores may be subject to review or correction, and we're good any time. And just signaling to the bowlers that we are good to go. It's going to be Chase Abramczyk and Anthony Leonardi leading off. It's going to be away bowlers first and then home. It's going to be Anthony Leonardi first with a 7 drop. Chase Abramczyk next on the headpin, dropping 9. Anthony Leonardi with a spare leave first on the 1, the 3, and the 10. That's a spare for Anthony Leonardi. He's on the board. And then Chase Abramczyk with a single pin spare. Goodbye, 2 spares in a row for both bowlers to start things out. Great pinning and great starting out for both of our bowlers. I may occasionally pause to verify scores if things seem out of sync. I appreciate your patience if/when that happens. Never know when that's going to happen. Anthony Leonardi collides with the head pin. It's a 7 fill. Abramczyk on the head pin as well, and he'll fill with 8. Leonardi on the triangle, the 3 triangle. He kicks the 6. 2-7 for Abramczyk. Abramczyk, that's another spare. 28 in a bonus after 2. And then Anthony Leonardi missed his spare, but filled with 7, and he'll take 9, leaving the 3. 26 after 2 for Anthony Leonardi. I'll do my best to add chapters to the YouTube description after the broadcast is complete, so you can choose to jump to certain points in the game if that is your preference. If you have favorite bowlers, or just want to watch 1 bowler, 2 bowlers, 3 bowlers, I don't know who. We'll try to make that as easy as possible for you. Has a split for Anthony Leonardi, a spread eagle, and a 4 drop. Chase Abramczyk on the head pin again, 7 fill and a split. Leonardi will continue working on his working box. Chase Abramczyk for the 3rd spare in a row. He was on the object pin, but things bounced around. Leonardi, nice 10 box. Wonderful way to end that, considering. Chase Abramczyk with a 9. 36 after 3 for Anthony Leonardi, and 44 after 3 for Chase Abramczyk. So the bowlers are not bowling head-to-head. It's away first, then home. Chase Abramczyk is facing Bryan Hebert. Anthony Leonardi is facing Kevin Martel. Leonardi to the right of the head pin. It's a mix of 5. Abramczyk's to the right and takes 3. Anthony Leonardi's got the 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. And on the 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, he takes all but the 9. Chase Abramczyk. He takes all but the 3 and the 5. It's Anthony Leonardi versus the 9 for a 10 box. And that's a 10. 46 and 4. Chase Abramczyk. That's an 8. 52 in 4. If you like this content, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel for more exciting matches as 3-ball spare conglomerate. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Anthony Leonardi on the head pin and another triangle. 7 drop. Chase Abramczyk is off target to the left. It's a 3 drop. Leonardi in the triangle. Misses the triangle again. Abramczyk right on it, all over it. That's a spare for Chase Abramczyk. Leonardi will take a 9. And that's the half. A great start for both of our bowlers with tons of marks. 2 marks to be exact. 2 for 5. Anthony Leonardi, 56 and a bonus. Or excuse me, that's a mistake on my part. That's a 9 box. Chase Abramczyk is at 62 and a bonus. Anthony Leonardi, 55. After 5, those scores are indeed confirmed. Like I said, I'll pause to verify scores every now and then. In streaming doubleheaders, it's always a lot of numbers and a lot of bowlers crisscrossing over one another, so you know how it is. So Kevin Martel. It's a 3 drop to open up, and a 2 drop for Bryan Hebert. Bryan Hebert will spare that up, though. Great spare by Bryan Hebert. Kevin Martel's got the 1 and the 7. He'll make that a 9. Let's look at that. Spare by Bryan Hebert all the while. Watch this. All over the 1-3 pocket. Kaboom. Goodbye. Kaboom and goodbye for Bryan Hebert on that spare. Kevin Martel on a 1 drop. Hebert on the head pin, drops 8. A quick 8 on the head pin. Leaves the 4 and the 8. Kevin Martel takes 2 more off the right side. And Hebert, he'll punch 1 more out, missing his 2nd spare in a row. Kevin Martel. That's a 3 box. Ouch. Hebert will take 10. 28 after 2 for Bryan Hebert, and 12 after 2 for Kevin Martel. So Kevin Martel has a season record of 115 and 109, home record 54-58, away record 61-51. That's a 2 drop punch out for Martel, and a 3 drop for Hebert. Martel takes a few more out. Leaves 4. Hebert takes 2 out on the left side. Martel will take 6. Hebert will take 7. That's 35 after 3 for Hebert and 18 after 3 for Kevin Martel. Kevin Martel has a season average of 99.01, home average 97, away average 101.03, high single 123, high series 552, 17 strikes, 119 spares, 160 tens, 6 drop for Martel, not on the head pin. And Hebert will split 6 on the head pin. Martel goes off to the 7, leaves the 1-2-10. Hebert's got the 4-6-2-10 to shoot at. And nothing doing there. Martel will take an 8 for 26 after 4. Bryan Hebert will take 7 for 42 after 4. Kevin Martel has a perfect box percentage of 39% and 79-21 seasonal total pins. He's currently the 3rd seed in Class D North Division 4 and the 9th seed in Class D North overall. Martel on the head pin drops 9, leaves the 5. Hebert takes 2 off the extreme right. Martel versus the 5 pin with a piece of wood in front of it. I don't know. That might... No, well, it starts with hitting it. The way that wood was positioned, I was kind of worried about that to begin with. The way Lakeside wood plays, it sometimes can deflect the ball. Kevin Martel, just like that. Yep, there it is. 9 box for Kevin Martel, 35-5. Bryan Hebert. It's going to be a 4. And with that, it's a difference of 20 between Anthony Leonardi and Kevin Martel. 55 Leonardi, 35 Martel. 62 in a bonus for Abramczyk. 46 after 5 for Hebert. A difference of 16 in Chase Abramczyk's favor, plus the next fill. Welcome back. Chase Abramczyk on your right. Anthony Leonardi on your left from the perspective of the back camera. Abramczyk will fire first, and he's working on a fill. Off he goes. A mix of 5. Leonardi will poke 2. Abramczyk, nice spare. Another one. Checks in. Leonardi's got the 1, 7, 10, 4, 8 to work on for a 10 box. He'll take 9 for 64 and 6. Chase Abramczyk's got 4 marks. In fact, let's watch that again on the pile of 5 on the right. There it goes. Goodbye. It's a 4 fill for Abramczyk. He missed the head pin. 8 drop, 9 drop, 10 drop for Anthony Leonardi. A quick, a slow-moving strike. Abramczyk for a spare. He's all over it. Oh my goodness, it almost goes. Leaves the 10. Abramczyk versus the 10. It'll be a 9. Let's look at that spare. I just missed the impact, but watch those 2 pins fall late for Anthony Leonardi. Abramczyk 90 and 7. Left of the head pin. 6 go down. Leonardi on a strike. Missed the head pin, but he'll take 8 out of it somehow, thanks to some flying active wood. Abramczyk on a 6 drop. Misses the object, leaves 2. Leonardi will be completing a strike fill here in just a second. He'll take 9 on that strike fill. 83 and 7. Abramczyk at least 98. He'll be 99 and 8 with that 9 box. Leonardi a 9 as well for 92 and 8. Chase Abramczyk has a record of 75 and 135 with 15 matches played. At home, he is 38 and 74. Away, he's 37 and 61. Season average 94.36, 92.90 at home, 96.3 when on the road. High single 116, high 501. And there is a strike for Mr. Chase Abramczyk. 6 drop for Leonardi. 1389. Punches the center hard on the second ball. Chris Salmon's in attendance in the audience. He just walked in. 7 box for Anthony Leonardi. Here's that strike by Chase Abramczyk. Once again, watch this. He is all over it right now. Great strike. Chase Abramczyk with a max game of 139. Left the head pin, mixes 6 so far. 4 drop, 4 split spread eagle for Anthony Leonardi. Abramczyk will be finishing his strike fill now. It's the 1-3-6-7. Oh, and it'll be a 7 fill. He punches hard on the head pin. He's at 116 and 9. Leonardi pokes the 3, and he's still got 5 pins on the deck. Leonardi will be over 100, at least. Abramczyk will take 8. 124. Game 1 for Chase Abramczyk. His new high single for the season was just thrown. So congratulations to Chase Abramczyk with his 124. Confirmed, and 104 for Anthony Leonardi. That's the summary of the away bowlers so far. Chase Abramczyk, new high score for this season for his high single. Hebert drops 4. 6-pack right. Check his ID. Kevin Martel on the head pin drops 9. Hebert. Slightly off to the right. Takes 3 of the 6 on the 6-pack. Drinks responsibly. Kevin Martel on the single, and that ball, I don't know where that ball was going. It just went down the center. Ryan Hebert. We'll take 9 for 55 and 6. Martel with a 9. Missed opportunity there. 44 and 6. Bryan Hebert has a season record of, checks my notes, 72 and 138 with 15 matches played. Home record of 22 and 62. Away record of 50 and 76. He's home this evening. Season average of 92.7. Home average 90.8. 94.6 went away. 6 drop and split for Bryan Hebert. 3 drop for Kevin Martel, left of the head pin. Hebert pokes the 3 and the 6, leaves the 4 and the 7. Martel leaves the 1, the 5, the 8, and the 10. Hebert will take 8, 63 and 7. Martel will take 6 for 50 and 7. Bryan Hebert has a high single this season of 118 and a high series of 515. 15 strikes, 94 spares, 130 tens, 33% perfect box percentage, 69.45 seasonal total pins. He's currently 5th place in Class E North Division 2 and the 9th seed in Class E North overall. 3 drop for Hebert, 5 drop for Martel. Hebert on his 3 drop on the pocket leaves the 6 and the 9. Martel. Off target to the left. Hebert will check with 9. 72 and 8. Martel with a 5 for 55 and 8. Two boxes to go before we end the first game of 5 in this 5-game series of the ACST Class D&E doubleheader. Anthony Leonardi at Kevin Martel and Chase Abramczyk at Bryan Hebert. Hebert to the left, drops 6, drops 7. 3 drop for Kevin Martel to the right of the head pin, 6-pack on the 10. Bryan Hebert will poke 1 more out, leaves the 1 and the 7. Kevin Martel leaves the 1, the 8, and the 10. Hebert checking in with a 9 and for 81 and 9. That'll be an 8 for Kevin Martel, I believe, for 63 in 9. So the first game is going to go to Anthony Leonardi and Chase Abramczyk. Home bowlers both struggling here. Bryan Hebert drops 6 to the right of the head pin. Martel on the head pin drops 9. Hebert almost cuts for the spare. It's just full enough, but the 8-pin survives. Martel, he'll foul that off for a 9. That was in the gutter. 72 first game for Martel. Hebert will take a 9 for 90 in the first game. Resounding victory for Chase Abramczyk by 34, 124 to Bryan Hebert's 90. And then Anthony Leonardi taking the first game by 32 to Kevin Martel's 72 with his 104. First ball averages, Anthony Leonardi 6, Martel 5, Abramczyk 6.1, Bryan Hebert 4.7, first ball average. And welcome to the second game. Leonardi will... he'll poke 3. That'll be a 2 poke for Abramczyk, both missing the head pin. Leonardi 1, 7, 10, 4, 6, no wood. Chase Abramczyk poked out the 6 and the 10 on the first ball. Second ball sails into the ocean. Leonardi will take 6 to open up with. In the second game, Martel, it's going to be a 6 as well. Anthony Leonardi has a season record of 116 and 108 with 16 matches played. At home, he's 57 and 55 at Academy Lanes. Away, he's 59 and 53. Season average 102.08, home average 103.30, away average 100.85. He'll drop a quick 6 there on the head pin. Abramczyk will take 2 off the left side this time. Leonardi's got the left side inverted check mark. 2 triangle in the 7, and goodbye. Whatever that was, it's gone now. Spare for Leonardi. Abramczyk cuts the 2, cuts the 6. Nice thinly sliced piece of cheese. That'll be 6 for Abramczyk. 16 and a bonus for Leonardi. 12 after 2 for Abramczyk. CompuScore scoreboard seems to have taken a bit of a break. I don't know what's going on down there. That's a 2 fill for Leonardi. Abramczyk with a 2 drop of his own. Both bowlers missing the head pin on the first ball. Leonardi working box. Abramczyk pokes the 6. That's an 8 box for Leonardi, leaving the 1 and the 3. And Abramczyk will take an 8. 20 after 3 for Abramczyk and 26 after 3 for Mr. Anthony Leonardi. Anthony Leonardi has a high single of 131, a high series of 591 this season. 39 strikes, 143 spares, 147 tens, 41% perfect box percentage, and 81.66 seasonal total pins. 6 drop for Anthony Leonardi to start out. Abramczyk with a 1 drop. Yikes. Quarter Worcester. Just the 2 pin. Leonardi runs down 3 of the 4 horsemen, leaves the object pin that he missed. Abramczyk pokes the 4 triangle out. Leonardi 9 for 35 after 4. Abramczyk on the 6-pack will take a 7 for 27 and 4. Anthony Leonardi, who bowled a 104 in the first game. Chase Abramczyk, who threw a 124 in the first game. They're both mightily struggling here at the top of the second. Hopefully they didn't blow it all in the first. Leonardi to left the head pin. 4 drop. Abramczyk right on the head pin. Drops 6, split 6. Leonardi leaves 2. 1-9. Banana split for Abramczyk. And I think that's going to be a foul. So it's likely going to be -3. Leonardi 9 for a 44 half. Abramczyk I believe it will be a 6 box. I'll pencil it in as that. And yes, 33 after 5 for Abramczyk with that fouled 5th box. 44 after 5 for Anthony Leonardi. Those scores are confirmed. Welcome back. It's Bryan Hebert and Kevin Martel. Martel 6 drop. Hebert 1 drop on the 4-pin lemon drop. Kevin Martel tries to make the most of that weird leave. 1-7-8-9 leaves a 7-8. Bryan Hebert, working box, 5-7-10s 8. Martel will foul for an 8. Hebert, 8 as well. Anthony Leonardi, so far up to this point, has been averaging 5.1 on the first ball after 15 boxes. Chase Abramczyk, 4.4 on the first ball after 15 boxes. Four drop for four drop for Martel. Bryan Hebert, 4 drop, 6-pack right. Martel on the head pin, nice spare. Hebert leaving the object pin, takes everything else. Nine for Hebert, 17 after 2. Check out this replay by Kevin Martel. Blasts that center pile of pins out to the deck, or to the pit. Martel, oof. 2 drop and a 2 fill. Half Worcester right side. 8 drop for Hebert. Leaves the 1 and the 8. Martel in the pocket, leaves the 7-10-5-6. Hebert's got the 1 and the 8. And he just misses the object, takes the 8, leaves the 1. Martel will take 7. Hebert will take 10. 27 after 3 for both Kevin Martel and Bryan Hebert. Kevin Martel is the 23rd highest Class D North average at 99 and the 8th Class D average strike fill at 8.47. He has won a match at or over 550. 3 of his 16 matches with shutout victories. 7 of 16 matches with double-digit wins, and that's a head pin shot. Leaves the 5 pin. That's Kevin Martel's first ball. Bryan Hebert will drop 3. Martel, single pin spare right there. Oh, Hebert rides the rail. 1 more down. Five box for Hebert, 32 after 3. Kevin Martel, 37 and a bonus after 4. Kevin Martel splits 6. And Hebert will drop 7. Missed the head pin, but leaves the 1-2-4. 4-6-3-7 for Martel. Takes the left half. Wheels, maybe? Nope. 4-7 left. Hebert runs him down. That's a spare for Bryan Hebert on the 1-2-4. Closing out his first half for 42 and a bonus. Martel, 8, 9, or 10. It'll be 8. Check that replay real quick for Bryan Hebert. The 1-2-4. Goodbye. Runs him down. So, 44 for Leonardi, 51 Martel, 33 Abramczyk, 42 for Hebert plus a bonus. Current state of affairs, 1.5 game in. Difference is 7 for Martel versus Leonardi, and a difference of 9 for Hebert versus Abramczyk. Abramczyk drops 7. 3 drop for Leonardi. Abramczyk pokes one of the 2, or one of the 3 for the triangle. Leonardi almost cleans up, almost mops up for a spare, leaves the 5. It's the 2 and the 5 for Abramczyk. He had the 2 triangle before and took the 4 on the second ball. He'll take a 9. 42 and 6. Leonardi will take 9 for 53 and 6. Chase Abramczyk, 21 strikes, 97 spares, 129 tens, 33% perfect box percentage, 7,077 seasonal total pins, 5th place in E North Division 1, number 10 seed in E North overall. Abramczyk 6-pack, 4 drop. Leonardi 3 drop. Abramczyk on the 6-pack, leaves the 5 and the 7. Leonardi misses the object pin. 4 left on the deck. Abramczyk 5-7 with piece of wood. Misses everything for an 8. Anthony Leonardi. A 6, 59 and 7 for Leonardi. 50 and 7 for Abramczyk. Chase Abramczyk has the 15th highest Class E average at 94.45 and the 21st Class E total strikes at 21. Four drop for Abramczyk to the left of the headpin. Leonardi mixes 7. Abramczyk leaves 1-4-7 on the deck. And Anthony misses to the left. Marks missed for both bowlers here. Both looking at 7 boxes or greater. Abramczyk, nice 10 box though. Nice out. 60 and 8. Leonardi will take 8 for 67 and 8. Again, both bowlers really struggling. Anthony Leonardi only 1 mark with a 2 fill. Chase Abramczyk markless this game. They had explosive first games, but now they're just having some trouble keeping the pace. Leaving an opening for Kevin and Martel and Bryan Hebert, both with marks. Abramczyk, though, on the head pin drops 9. 6 pin left. Leonardi on the head pin as well. Same thing, but it's the 9 pin. Great first ball for both on the head pin. Abramczyk will spare it up for 70 and 9 and a bonus. Just what he needed. Anthony Leonardi, same story. 77 and a bonus and 9 for Leonardi. Chase Abramczyk has 4 matches with double-digit wins. He's 17.89 for 50 on the head pin on average per match. 8.67 splits per match. His home house is Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. Abramczyk on the head pin. Fills 7, splits 7. First ball average 5.3. Leonardi, 3 drop, 3 fill. 5.3 on the first ball for Anthony Leonardi as well. Chase Abramczyk misses his mark, leaves the 5-7. Leonardi pokes 2 more out, misses his mark as well. Abramczyk will take 8, and that's an 85 game 2 for a 2-game total of 209. Anthony Leonardi, 7 for an 87 for a 2-game total of 191. That's the story for our 2 away bowlers. Hot in the first game and cool in the second. All right, it's Kevin Martel and Bryan Hebert next. Home bowlers bowling not head-to-head this evening. It's going to be Bryan Hebert starting on your right in the navy blue shirt, and Kevin Martel on your left in the navy blue shirt. Waiting for a pin setter. There it goes. Bryan Hebert's working on a fill. Hebert. Pocket. 9. Great fill of 9. Martel pokes 2 for a half Worcester on the left side. Hebert's at 51 after 5 to match Martel's 51 after 5. Double spare for Hebert. 61 and a bonus in the 6th. He's figuring it out. Kevin Martel on the Brooklyn side of the pocket leaves the 3 triangle. Kevin Martel, though, nice out. Nice 10, 61 and 6. And Hebert 61 and a bonus in the 6th. Compare that to Chase Abramczyk's 42 in the 6th. Martel 61 and 6. Compare that to Anthony Leonardi's 53 and 6. Here we go. Bryan Hebert on a spare. Right of the head pin, but decent mix of 7 and a fill of 7. Kevin Martel. 3 drop, half Worcester plus a friend. Hebert. Just the left of the head pin. Leaves the 1-9. Martel. Head pin a little full. Banana split. 7-10, 4-6. Hebert will take 9 for 77 and 7. Kevin Martel will take 8 for 69 and 7. And Hebert, there's a bomb of a strike. Kaboom. Goodbye. 10 drop. Kevin Martel looks to follow up. Missed the head pin to the left, but got a nice 6 drop out of it. Hey, anyway the pins fall, as long as it's a legal hit, no problem there. 1 triangle and the 9. Oh, and he's just a little full on the head pin. That's the right idea. He'll take 9. Hebert with a strike. Let's watch that replay once again. Look at that explosion of pins. And now, the conclusion. Ryan Hebert to the right of the head pin. Drops 5. Caleri. Martel left of the head pin. 6 pack. 4 drop. Hebert filling a strike. On the Caleri, a little bit full. It's a fill of 7, though. Still good. 94 and 8. Martel leaves 3 on the second ball. That'll be a nice 9 for Bryan Hebert. 103 and 9. He will take the second game against Chase Abramczyk. Kevin Martel will take 7, 85 and 9. 2 pins away from Anthony Leonardi. 1 box to go. Mr. Bryan Hebert to the right of the head pin. It's going to be a 6 drop. Kevin Martel is on the pocket. And a strike right there for Mr. Kevin Martel. Nice job. Excellent work. 3rd mark of the game. Bryan Hebert 1-7-10-2. Bouncy ball on the pen on the head pin though. Leaves the 10. Sometimes bouncy balls can help, but just wasn't enough to take the 10. So he's looking at a 112 guarantee, potential 113. 112 it is with that 9 for Bryan Hebert. Let's look at Kevin Martel's strike. Look at that. Kaboom, and the check mark falls last. Kevin Martel now filling a strike. $95 and +2 so far. Martel averaging 5.1 on the first ball. Bryan Hebert averaging 5.4 on the first ball. Abramczyk 5.3 on the first ball. And Leonardi 5.3 on the first ball. 7 fill is what it's going to be for Kevin Martel. Kevin Martel finishes with 102. Hebert 112. Martel takes the second game over Anthony Leonardi. 2-game total of 174 for Martel. 2-game total of 202 for Bryan Hebert. Martel wins the second game by 15. Hebert takes a second game by 27. Anthony Leonardi holds on to the total by 17. Chase Abramczyk holds on to the total by 7. That's your score update. And welcome to the third game. Away bowlers first, home bowlers second. On the ACST here, provided by 3-Ball Spare Conglomerate. I'm Steve Kelly on the call on the stream. Great to have you along on this Friday evening, April 18th, 2025, at about 7:27 local time, starting the third game, first quarter. Anthony Leonardi will do the honors. He fires. Headpin strike for Anthony Leonardi. Excellent 10 drop to start things out. Chase Abramczyk on the pocket as well. 7 drop triangle. We've seen a lot of triangles this evening. 3 triangle for Chase Abramczyk. 3, 5, 6. Cue up that replay for Anthony Leonardi's strike in just a moment. Chase Abramczyk on the triangle. Oh my god, he leaves 1. He connected with the 3 and the 6 and left the 5. Chase Abramczyk will take a 10. Let's watch that strike again by Anthony Leonardi. On the 1-2 pocket, Brooklyn side. The 5 and the 6 fall last. Here we go, Anthony Leonardi on a strike. Right of the head pin, 6 drop to start out. 4 horsemen left side. Abramczyk the right of the head pin, 3 drop. On the 6 triangle. Abramczyk pokes the 2. Leonardi pokes the 2 for a 7 fill. Abramczyk leaves the 1 diamond. Leonardi 147, he'll take 8 for 25 and 2. And Abramczyk on the 1 diamond for a 10. He'll sail into the channel and then the ocean for 6 box, 16 after 2. Scores confirmed all the way around. Anthony Leonardi is the 2nd seed in Class D North Division 4 and the 8th seed in Class D North overall. He's on the head pin there in a split of 6. Anthony Leonardi has the 9th highest Class D North average at 102.1. Number 2 Class D total strikes at 39. 6-pack drop for Chase Abramczyk. Leonardi leaves 1, misses the mark. 7 pins left. Abramczyk on the 6-pack. He's to the left of the 6-pack. 3 of 6, but this piece of wood taking 1 more out. 1 and 2. Leonardi for 10 box. There it goes. 35 and 3. Chase Abramczyk on the 1 and the 2. Just misses it for an 8. 24 and 3 for Abramczyk. 35 and 3 for Leonardi. Anthony Leonardi is the 5th highest Class D North high series at 591. The 10th Class D North average spare fill at 5.89. He has 3 matches out of over 550. 2 of his 16 matches have been shutout victories. 5 of his 16 matches have been double-digit wins. That's a 4-drop spread eagle for Anthony Leonardi. Chase Abramczyk on the pocket. He'll drop 6 and split 6, banana split. 2 difficult splits for both of our bowlers. Oh, but Chase Abramczyk almost takes the spread eagle for a spare. He leaves the 3. That was great looking on paper. Abramczyk on the banana split. Ooh, he almost gets it too. Piece of spinning wood debris almost comes to take the 3-6. That's a 9 for Anthony Leonardi. Great attempt on the spread eagle for a spare. 44 and 4. Chase Abramczyk 9, 33 and 4. Anthony Leonardi is 10 for 24 on the head pin with 4 splits. Chase Abramczyk 9 for 24 on the head pin with 4 splits. Hebert Martel has been 15 for 20 on the head pin with 5 splits. Hebert has been 5 for 20 on the head pin with 2 splits. Hebert Martel 6 for 20 on the head pin with 1 split. Blech. Leonardi 6 drop and a 6 split. 3 drop for Abramczyk. There it goes, though, for Anthony Leonardi. Goodbye. That's a spare. It was like the bucket of 5 minus the 6. Abramczyk working box. 4 horsemen right side for a 10 box. 6 box guarantee. It'll be a 9 for Abramczyk, 42 and 5. Let's look at that replay again for Anthony Leonardi. 5, 3, 9, 10. Goodbye. That was the end of that. Let's look at the assessments here for 2.5 games for Chase Abramczyk, 42 and 5. 251, 2.5 game total. 245, 2.5 game total for Anthony Leonardi, 54 and a bonus. And Kevin Martel with a 3 drop. And a 1 drop for Hebert. Martel working box. Hebert working ball. Off to the left, kicks a few more. Martel versus the 1 diamond. We'll take 2, leave 2 for an 8. The diamond wins again. Bryan Hebert. We'll take a 6. Where are we this evening? We are at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. A busy, busy Candlepin Bowling House in Manchester, New Hampshire off the Massabesic Lake. Off of 101 on exit 1 on the way to UNH. Great atmosphere. 24 great lanes here at Lakeside Lanes. Kevin Martel with an 8 drop. Hebert with a 9 drop, almost a strike. Oh, and it is a strike. Wow, that was a really slow mover. I had focused my attention on other things on the scoreboard and didn't even see the last pin fall for Bryan Hebert. That's a 9 for Kevin Martel. So Bryan Hebert 16 to bonus after 2. Kevin Martel 17 after 2. Scores are confirmed, by the way, all the way around. So it'll be Kevin Martel leading off on lane 4. Just slightly to the right. The head pin drops 6. Hebert on a strike. It's going to be a 4 drop so far. 1 more ball on the fill. Martel runs. Oh, almost runs him down. Leaves the 7. Hebert filling a strike. That'll be a nice 7 fill. 23 and 2. Martel 9 or 10. It's going to be 9 for 26 and 3. Bryan Hebert, bouncy ball once again, 7 box, 30 and 3. To complete that thought, so the Lakeside Lanes also has a great bar called the 25th Lane, tons of drinks, and just awesome atmosphere. The quote-unquote 25th Lane is just the bar, the literal bar. It's made out of what used to be a Candlepin Alley. Martel drops 1 on the right. And Hebert, that sounded like a pin broke. That was a lemon drop on the 6. Martel on the pocket. Ooh, he almost takes him out for a spare. 9 pin left. Hebert sails into the ocean. Same hole where the 6 pin was. There's a pin down there in need of some rescuing. Out in the middle of the lane. It's still rolling. Still going. It might complete the journey into the right channel. Gonna find out. And there it goes. Martel will take a 9 box. 35 and 4. Hebert just needs more pins, and wow, nice out by Hebert. 10 box for 40 and 4. Big salvaging ball right there. A 1 box would have been really disastrous, and he was just on the pocket and threw his strike ball. Oh, and excuse me. 10 box for Kevin Martel. I think. Maybe. Hold on. Nope, I think I was right. Action in the bullpen. Just waiting to see what... I'll let you know as soon as I know. What? These are 4 balls. Oh. Bowler's call, not my call. Yep, so action in the bullpen. We're having a conference down there. Anyways, yep, so Lakeside Lanes voted WMUR Viewer's Choice Best Bowling Alley 4 times in a row, 2015, 2017, 2019, and 2021. with semi-automatic computerized scoring by CompuScore with 24 great lanes and tons of leagues. Lakeside Lanes right now is doing a great job handling a huge influx of new bowlers coming in from lead lanes, which will be briefly closing while they just do some maintenance and moving and remodeling and all that kind of fun stuff. So Lakeside Lanes will be shouldering the folks who are looking for just a home house temporarily until lead lanes reopens again. So we're just that will be the situation. Anyways, Kevin Martel for the 5th ball opener after a brief delay. Again, I'm going to let you know what happens there. Hebert's dropping 9. Kevin Martel leaves a 5. And it looks like, again, I'm completely staying out of it. And Hebert spares it up. So here's what I think it's going to be. It'll be, if I got my everything figured out, it's going to be 36 and 5 for Kevin Martel. And 15 a bonus for Bryan. Hebert, 42 and 5 for Chase Abramczyk, and 54 and a bonus for Anthony Leonardi. That'll be the story for the first half, and halfway through the match officially here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Great as always to have you along with us. And switching back to our away bowlers here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Chase Abramczyk with a 7 drop. Headpin goes. Three drop for Leonardi. Chase Abramczyk leaves the 5 pin. Leonardi filled with 3. It's a 10 box for Chase Abramczyk. 52 and 6. 8 box for Leonardi, 65 and 6. I believe that is what's going to be shaken out for. Yep, 65. Yep, just making sure I stay in sync with the score down there. And Abramczyk to the left of the headpin, dropping 4. Or no, 3. 6-pack and the 7. Anthony Leonardi will take 6. Not on the headpin. Abramczyk will miss off to the left. Leonardi on the headpin. Will it come back to take the rest? Not quite. That'll be a 5 for Abramczyk. Hard fought 5 he went to war for. Anthony Leonardi will take a 9 for 74 and 7. All right, Chase Abramczyk on lane 4 at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. Here we go. On the headpin, drops 7. 8, 9, 10. And Anthony Leonardi on the headpin as well, drops 8. Abramczyk, oof, he's just a little bit off. Leaves the 8 and the 10. Leonardi will take a 9. Excuse me, leave the 5, missing a spare. That'll be an 8 for Abramczyk, 65 and 8. That'll be 9 for Leonardi, 83 and 8. Our away bowlers are doing better on the headpins right now. 12 headpins apiece. Martel and Hebert, 8 and 7, respectively. Chase Abramczyk on the headpin drops 7. Drops 8, actually. And a 9, maybe 10. It'll be a 9 drop for Anthony Leonardi on the first ball, leaving the 5 pin. Abramczyk, nice spare on the 2 and the 7. Everything goes. Leonardi spare as well. Let's look at Chase Abramczyk's spare. That was a complicated one on the 2 and the 7 with a lot of lumber in between. But watch how that goes. You see the way he collided with just a 7. He skipped all the wood. That was a great idea. $75 after 9 and a bonus for Abramczyk. 93 and a bonus after 9 for Anthony Leonardi. 77 with that 2 fill. And a 2 fill as well for Anthony Leonardi. Ouch. Half Worcesters all around. They were half off for Easter. Chase Abramczyk. Oof. Off to the left. And Anthony Leonardi off to the right. 1-5-3. Abramczyk will poke 1. I think it's going to be a 3. Yikes. And then an 8 box for Anthony Leonardi. Double checking the scores. 80 and 103 are confirmed. Abramczyk, a hard-fought 80 with a 1 mark. 289 3 game total. 294 3 game total for Anthony Leonardi with a 103 in the third. All right, here comes Bryan Hebert on a fill. He fills with 3. And a 1 drop for Martel. And Hebert almost spares it, leaves the 6. Martel will poke right down the center. Hebert will take a 9 to start out. Martel will take a 9 for 45 after 6. Hebert 62 after 6. Difference is 20 between Anthony Leonardi and Kevin Martel. The difference is 10 between Chase Abramczyk and Bryan Hebert. Hebert up by 10. Leonardi up by 20. Here we go. Bryan Hebert to the left of the headpin. He'll drop 7. Martel will drop 6. Neither bowler on the headpin. Double checking with the score. They were checking their scores down there. Hebert on the spare. Just push. No, the push doesn't push hard enough. Leaves 1. Kevin Martel leaves the 1 and the 4. Hebert will take 10. Martel will take 8. 53 and 7 for Martel. 72 and 7 for Bryan Hebert. Bryan Hebert is 7 for 27 on the headpin with 2 splits. Kevin Martel is 8 for 27 on the headpin with 2 splits. First ball average for Kevin Martel has been 4.6. Bryan Hebert 5. Bryan Hebert to the right of the headpin drops 1. Kevin Martel with a nice 10 drop and a strike for Kevin Martel. And Bryan Hebert to the left of the headpin leaves the 1 diamond, the 6 and the 9. That'll be a 5 for Hebert. And let's look at that strike by Kevin Martel one more time while we got some time here during the pin setter. Look at that explosion of pins. The 10 pin falls last for Kevin Martel. Right in the pocket. Got the nice splash in both directions. Here comes Bryan Hebert. On the 1-3 pocket, drops 8. Kevin Martel on a strike, and he'll poke 2, a hard 2, but he gets another ball for the fill. Bryan Hebert. I just missed a spare for 1. Martel to finish this. Oh, that's going to be a 2 fill on the strike. Bryan Hebert on the 4 pin for 10 box now. It'll be a 10. And an 8 box for Kevin Martel for 73 and 9. Bryan Hebert 87 and 9. Bryan Hebert up by 10. Kevin Martel down by 12. Within reach. Hebert will take the 3rd game against Chase Abramczyk. 3 drop for Hebert. Martel. It's a 2 drop. Took me a second to count. Hebert leaves the 1, the 6, and the 10. The 10 falls last. Martel right on the pocket, but leaves the 5 and the 9. And Bryan Hebert will take a 9, and Kevin Martel will take a 10. And that's end of game 3. That's a 3-game total of 257 for Kevin Martel with that 83. Down by 20 to Anthony Leonardi's 103 for a 3-game total of 294. Bryan Hebert, 96 game 3, 3-game total of 298 to Chase Abramczyk's 289. Bryan Hebert takes the 3rd game 96, up by 16 over Chase Abramczyk's 80. And Anthony Leonardi took the 3rd game by 20 with his 103 to Kevin Martel's 83. And here we go. So we're off to the next game, the 4th game here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Away bowlers first, home bowlers second. Not bowling head-to-head this evening. And here we go. It's going to be Anthony Leonardi and Chase Abramczyk. Oh, in the pocket. 1-3 pocket. Thick hit. 8 drop. Great opener. It's the 4 and the 9. Abramczyk. All over it for a strike for Chase Abramczyk. What a big pitch that was. Anthony Leonardi, not much he could have done on that one. Leonardi for the 10 box. He'll just take 1 for 9. It's like a Chase Abramczyk strike. Watch this explosion of pins on the 1-2 pocket. Instant strike, the best kind of strike where everything just fizzles. Best way to go down. Anthony Leonardi now. To the right of the head pin, 6-pack and the 7-3 drop. Chase Abramczyk working on a strike. He's off to the left with a 6-pack, 4 drop. Gets 1 more ball in the fill. Anthony Leonardi, 6-pack left in the 10. Right on the pocket, leaves the 7 and the 8. That'll be Abramczyk for a strike fill to complete that fill. Oh, and it's going to be a 4. It will be a 6-pack fill. Missed it on the second ball. Leonardi takes 9. Second 9 in a row, 18 after 2. Chase Abramczyk on the 6-pack. It'll be a 9 for 23 after 2. Anthony Leonardi, on average, goes 18.67 for 50 on the head pin. 8.4 splits on average per match. His home house is Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. His past 5 matches, he's taken 40 points, averaging 8 per match. His past 5 matches, he's totaled 2692 pins, averaging 538.4 per match. That's a 6 drop and a check mark for Anthony Leonardi on the head pin. Chase Abramczyk on the head pin as well, and he drops 7, leaving the 3 diamond. And there's a spare by Anthony Leonardi, a definitive checkmark spare. Abramczyk on the 3 triangle leaves the 3. Takes the 4 and the 5. It's Chase Abramczyk versus a single pin will be a 10 for 33 and 3. Here's that spare on the checkmark for Anthony Leonardi. Just all over it. No questions about that going down. It's a great job. Leonardi working on a spare now. Anthony Leonardi, he'll take a 7, take an 8 on the fill. Abramczyk. 1-2 pocket shot. Split 7. Deserve better than that. 5-7-10 Matsusi special. Woolworth split. Piece of wood. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Anthony Leonardi wants to finish his spare, but nope. It's unfortunately not much doing with that shot. Yeah, the Matsusi special. The 5-7-10 split. Matsusi, he's on my Worlds team. Lead his mass holes. And I guess he's just good at getting that shot. That's why we call it the Matsusi special. Or the Woolworth split if you want to be less exciting. All right, so where are we at? Leonardi missed his spare. He lives the 4 and the 7. It's the 5-7-10 for Chase Abramczyk for a spare shot. Oh, and he plays the 5, and only the 5 goes. Just didn't get the action. Leonardi for a 10. He'll take a 9, split the difference, 45 after 4. It'll be a 9 box for Chase Abramczyk, 42 after 4. Folks, if you're on Easter Sunday and you're stuck with family and want a distraction, I invite you to check out Ray's Easter Classic at Leda Lanes for 20 strings of candlepin bowling, a borderline 12-hour tournament that will be bringing out the best bowlers from all over the place at Leda Lanes. Candlepin Bowling Network will be live streaming. I will try to live stream the 3-ball spare wherever and whenever I can. It won't be a fancy stream or anything. It'll just be a camera on a tripod, but it'll be fun to watch the bowlers. I'll be around a fun bunch of folks, and it should be a great time. So check it out, Ray's Easter Classic, 20 game single scratch tournament this Easter Sunday, 420. That is a 10 for Abramczyk and a 6, I believe, for Anthony Leonardi. 51 after 5 for Anthony Leonardi and 52 after 5 for Chase Abramczyk. And that is the story of the first quarter of the 4th game here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. And we'll be right back with our home bowlers as they get ready to go. You're watching the ACST on 3-ball spare. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. It's Friday evening, Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. Kevin Martel will do the honors. Drop 6, split 6. Hebert will miss the head pin and take a few. 4 drop for Hebert. Martel 3, 6, 7. Hebert leaves the 1 and the 8. Martel will take a 7 to open up. Bryan Hebert will take a 10. Nice 10 after 1. What more can I tell you about Kevin Martel? He has a head pin average per match of 17.8 for 50, 9 splits per match. Lakeside Lanes is his home house, but he's the away bowler. The home bowler this evening. It's a 7 drop and a 7 split for Martel. Another split. Hebert with a 6 drop. Kevin Martel will punch the 6, leave the 3 and the 4. Hebert on the 1, 2, 4, 7. He'll leave the 1. No mark for either bowler. Kevin Martel first. Be an 8, 15 after 2. Hebert, 9, 19 after 2. Kevin Martel in his past 5 matches has taken 38 points, averaging 7.6 points per match. That's a winning record. His past 5 matches, he's totaled 24, 48 pins, averaging 489.6 per mark. Kevin Martel's on the head pin and splits 4. Wow. You could believe that's a pocket shot. That was a 6 drop for Hebert, not on the head pin. Martel sails into the void. Hebert just misses the object and leaves only the object. Martel for the 3rd ball. It'll be a 6, 21 after 3. Hebert will take a 9, 28 after 3. Leonardi 36 after 3, Martel 21 after 3, Abramczyk 33 after 3, Hebert 28 after 3. Martel first. To the left of the head pin, drop 6. Hebert on the 2 pocket vicinity, drops 5. Martel will hit 1 hard, leave the 7, 8, 10. Bryan Hebert, way off target to the right, 1, 3, 7. Martel 7, 8, 10. He'll take an 8 for 29 and 4. Hebert 7, 8, 9, or 10. It'll be an 8 for 36 after 4. Anthony Leonardi, 17 for 35 on the head pin with 7 splits. Martel, 12 for 34 on the head pin with 5 splits. Abramczyk, 15 for 35 on the head pin with 6 splits. Hebert, 8 for 34 on the head pin with 2 splits. Martel will drop 8 and split 8 there. Hebert will take 5. I won't do any jazz references. Martel leaves the 7. Hebert pokes the 2. No mark for either bowler. Martel for 9 or 10. It'll be a 9 for a 38 half. Bryan Hebert on the 6 box or greater. It'll be an 8 for 44. After 5, and that's the story. All these scores are confirmed. Leonardi leading the game by 13, 51 to Martel's 38. Abramczyk 52, leading the game by 8 to Hebert's 44. Halfway through the 4th game here on the ACST as the Away bowlers, get back up there. And Abramczyk, strong showing, and is a strike for Chase Abramczyk. Strong first ball. Big 10 drop. A lemon drop for Leonardi, a 1 drop on the 6 pin. Leonardi will poke the 7 next. What pin will he get next on the 3rd ball? Let's find out together. Anthony Leonardi on the head pin there leaves the 2 triangle for a 7 for 58 in 6. And Abramczyk is at 62 and a bonus in 6. Watch this strike by Chase Abramczyk on the 1-2 pocket, Brooklyn side. It was looking dicey there for a second, but the 5 and the 10 do fall eventually thanks to the wood. Chase Abramczyk. Oh, and he'll lemon drop the first ball. Luckily, he gets another ball for the bonus. Leonardi left the head pin, gets a better mix of 6. I was about to say 5, but an extra pin fell. Abramczyk filling that strike. It's a 5 fill. Got very lucky on that. Anthony Leonardi. He'll leave. Ooh, he'll get an extra pin. He'll leave the head pin. No mark, but potential 9 or 10. Abramczyk 5 or greater. He'll take a 7. 74 and 7. Anthony Leonardi on the head pin for a 10 box. 74 and 7 for Abramczyk, by the way. And Anthony Leonardi with a 9 for 67 in 7. 17 for 37 on the head pin with 7 splits for Anthony Leonardi. Chase Abramczyk is 16 for 37 on the head pin with 6 splits. Chase Abramczyk on the 1-2 pocket. He'll drop 8. 6-10. Leonardi all over the head pin, but splashes 7 and splits 7. Chase Abramczyk on the 6 and the 10. And he'll take a spare 84 and a bonus in the 8th for Chase Abramczyk. 3rd mark of the game. Anthony Leonardi with a split. Favorable wood, though. Let's see if it goes. Oh, he's a little bit too direct on the 4 pin, unfortunately. I would have played that center piece of wood at an angle in some way to sweep to the 6-10 and take the 4. And he plays a little bit too full. That's an 8 box, 75 and 8 for Leonardi. 84 and a bonus in 8 for Chase Abramczyk. Scores are confirmed. They were a little behind down there in the compy score, but they are caught up now, and we are in sync. Here we go. Chase Abramczyk working on a spare. He's going to be on the head pin. Oh. 9 fill. It looked like a strike for a moment. And a 6 drop for Anthony Leonardi. He missed the head pin. 1, 2, 4, 8. Chase Abramczyk. That was a great first ball. And it looked like one of the last 2 remaining pins was going to fall into the other, but the 9 pin stays. Oh, and Abramczyk just misfires there. It's a deceitful kind of shot because of that piece of wood that's on it. Anthony Leonardi misses the object pin and leaves the object pin. Abramczyk for the 10 box, and it'll be a 9. 102 in 9. He's been really all over the head pin. He's only missed the head pin 3 times out of the 9 boxes so far. And same for Leonardi, for that matter. No, Leonardi has 1 head pin less, actually, this game. And he'll take a 9. 84 and 9 for Anthony Leonardi. 102 and 9 for Chase Abramczyk. Chase Abramczyk to the right of the head pin, or left of the head pin. It's a 4 drop. And a 7 drop for Anthony Leonardi, a 1-3-10. Here comes Chase Abramczyk. Oh, and he's on the Brooklyn, and it goes. What an incredible spare by Chase Abramczyk. That was a great ball. It's a risky ball from Manhattan to Brooklyn. And there's a spare as well for Anthony Leonardi. But let's look at Chase Abramczyk's spare. Look at that. Great shot. The way it collided with the head pin. Oh, God, that was just chef's kiss. Brilliant spare by Chase Abramczyk. Abramczyk is filling his spare in his final ball of this game with 6 for 118, game 4. And Anthony Leonardi will follow suit, and he'll fill with 7, and that's a 101 game 4 for Anthony Leonardi. Scores are confirmed. Chase Abramczyk, 4 game total of 407. Anthony Leonardi, 4 game total of 395 with that 101 in the 4th game. As we enter the final quarter of the 4th game here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Great to have you along, as always. If you're just tuning in, this has been a pretty intense match. A lot of really hot pockets of scores being thrown here across all of our bowlers. 7 drop for Martel. He's a triangle. Hebert missed the head pin. Dropped 4. Martel leaves 1. Hebert leaves 4 on the second ball. Martel on the 5 pin. 9 or 10. It goes 10 box for Martel, and Hebert will take a 10 box as well. Both cleaning up. It's 48 after 6 for Kevin Martel, and 54 after 6 for Bryan Hebert. 4 boxes to go before we close out the 4th game here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Anthony Leonardi averaged 5.7 on the first ball. Chase Abramczyk 5.8 on the first ball. 1 drop from Martel. Hebert missing the head pin. And he drops 5. Excuse me, that's going to be a fouled first ball for Martel, so he's going to reset. 5 drop for Hebert on the first. 4 drop on after the reset. Hebert leaves the 9. No mark. And an 8 box. Nice out for Kevin Martel for 56 in 7. Or excuse me. No, I have this backwards. It's an 8 box for Hebert. 56 and 7. And a 9 box for Kevin Martel. Give me 1 second to fix my scoreboard. And we are correct. Actually, I just had it backwards for that 1 box, and it's now fixed. Woo! All right, Bryan Hebert on the head pin. Drops 6 after a delay. 4 drop for Kevin Martel. Bryan Hebert. Oh, yes. Goodbye. Spare for Hebert. Take it any way you can get it. Late falling pins are still late falling pins. 72 and a bonus and 8 for Bryan Hebert. 1 and 10 for Kevin Martel on the second ball. Spinning pins on the second ball. And it's a nice 10 box. Good out for Kevin Martel. 67 and 8. Bryan Hebert's at 72 and a bonus and 8. And Bryan Hebert saying, that was exactly as planned. All right, Bryan Hebert on the fill, on the pocket, drops 7, fill 7. That's a 6 drop for Kevin Martel. 1, 7, 10, 2. Hebert 3 triangle for a spare. Oh, and he's on the 3, 5 pocket. 6 pin didn't go. Martel punches the 2, leaves the high-low jack, 1, 7, 10 with wood. Hebert 9 or 10. On the retry will be a 9, leaving the 6 pin, 88 and 9. Martel will take a 7, 74 and 9. Here we go, Bryan Hebert. To the left of the head pin, drops 2, left side half Worcester. And same thing for Kevin Martel. Not the best time for bowlers to start matching each other. Bryan Hebert, poke the 6. And, oh, Kevin Martel's on the head pin. Takes only the head pin. Just kicks it aside. Both bowlers are looking at 3 boxes or greater right now. So it will be the 4th game for Chase Abramczyk, and it will be the 4th game for Anthony Leonardi. That's locked in at this point. Bryan Hebert will take a 6. 6 out. That'll be a 4 box for Kevin Martel. Ouch. All right. And those scores are all confirmed. 101 for Leonardi, 78 for Martel, 118 for Abramczyk, 94 for Hebert, Four game totals: 395 for Leonardi, 335 for Martel, 407 for Abramczyk, and 392 for Bryan Hebert. Leonardi taking the fourth game by 23. Abramczyk taking the fourth game by 24. Abramczyk up in the total by 15. Leonardi up in the total by 60. And welcome to the fifth game. Away bowlers first. I'm Steve Kelly on the call for the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. And we'll be together for one more game. And Leonardi drops 9. Chase Abramczyk. He's off to the left, drops 2. Oh, and the wood gets deflected and stuffed by the cap by Leonardi, and he's in disbelief. He's looking back at me going, what the heck? And Abramczyk punches a little bit hard on the head pin, leaves 3 pins on the deck. Leonardi for the 10. The 10 box that should have been a spare. 10 after 1. Abramczyk, 9. Yeah, caps of wood can be really interesting in terms of how they behave, and for sure it's been really something. All right, Anthony Leonardi. Right, the head pin, hard ball, drops 6. 1, 2, 4, 9. Chase Abramczyk up next. He's off to the left and drops 2. Leonardi 1, 2, 4, 9 for a spare. He's off to the left, pokes the 2, nothing else. Abramczyk on a 2 drop. Punches straight out on the 1 and the 5. Punch outs are starting to be a thing now. Leonardi will take 8 for 18 after 2. Chase Abramczyk will take 7, 16 after 2. Anthony Leonardi has a very important phone call. So while we're waiting for that, folks, so if you like this kind of content and you want to see more, I want you to subscribe to my channel, 3 Ball Spare. I'm up on YouTube. I'm on twitch.tv, and I'm also on Facebook. In addition to full matches, I'm also doing shorts and highlights and maybe other kinds of content in the future. We'll see. Also doing kind of like simpler live streams of tournaments when I'm bowling in them. No less fancy bells and whistles when doing that, obviously. But yeah, I want you to check all that out. If you like this content and want to see more, and please consider subscribing. Up to you. And also check out Candlepins for Cancer, candlepins4cancer.com to sign up for qualifying roll-offs or donate. Candlepins for Cancer is an awesome charity organization run by Al Johnson and Paul Grant, as you can see in the photo there, left to right. And it's a great charity for helping with folks in need of cancer treatments and assistance and all that. And there's also bowling tournaments, and you can sign up to bowl in any of the upcoming roll-offs. It's just I'm blanking on which those current roll-offs are, but we move around to different bowling houses to do the tournaments. So if one is nearby you, it might be a great idea just to go and sign up and meet the bowlers and just do some great stuff. And also, if you don't feel like bowling, you can also just donate on candlepins4cancer.com. So check that out, and we'll maybe see you at one of those roll-offs. And also, if you're into bowling and you just want to go bowling, I want you to go to candlepin.org and click Go Bowling. There's a map on that website. There's a screenshot of it here, and I'll show you all the centers you can go to if you're in the New England or Eastern Canada region and you want to check all those out. There's actually possibly even more centers than what are on the map, so do check it out. Look for your nearest center. If you want to check out Candlepin Bowling, if you've never tried it, I highly encourage you to. And any of these houses, any of these Candlepin Bowling houses will always appreciate your business. And also, in addition to 3 Ball Spare, there's also plenty of other Candlepin Bowling channels, such as Candlepin Bowling Network, at Candlepin Bowling on TikTok, at Candlepin Corner on YouTube, the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook. You can check that out if you want to find out like when tournaments or whatever are happening and whatnot. So probably the best place for discussing stuff is on the Candlepin chat. The Candlepin chat group on Facebook. Let me show you the right slide if I'm going to talk about that. There's also alleychat.net and youtube.com/alleychat. There's also classic Candlepin TV shows such as the Candlepin Bowling Channel and Wolfman 12395. All right, after a brief delay, we are back. Anthony Leonardi starting out here on lane 4 on a 1 drop. Chase Abramczyk. And he actually had to respot during that break because a bunch of pins randomly fell down. He said he thought he scared them all away. Anthony Leonardi is to the right of the head pin after that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 8, 6, 10. Chase Abramczyk leaves 1 on the deck. No mark. Leonardi leaves an 8 for 26 after 3. Abramczyk is on the head pin for a 10-box shot. And that's a 10 for Chase Abramczyk, 26 after 3. And 26 after 3 for Anthony Leonardi, all the same. Anthony Leonardi got a phone call there. That was why we had to pause real quick. And it was sort of like a Jason Bourne there for a minute. It was, I don't know who he was talking with, but quite an interesting conversation there. Sort of like one of those action movies. That's a 6 drop and a split for Anthony Leonardi. There is a pin setter issue on lane 3. That's just a matter of just waiting it out. I'm familiar with that pin setter issue because I bowl Sunday nights here at Lakeside on these lanes, on the set of lanes, like lanes 1 to like 17 or so. And every now and then you just get a little quirk like that. That's a 3 drop for Chase Abramczyk. Leonardi on a 6 drop. Oh, that was a beautiful shot. Kevin Davis remarking on that one, and we'll get you a replay on that in just a second. Chase Abramczyk on the 6-pack and the 7 takes a few more out. One, 5, 3, 7, 10 for Chase Abramczyk. It's a 5, 31 and 4. Let's look at that replay. Great shot by Anthony Leonardi. He cuts the 2 diamond into the 10. And he was actually on the right side of the diamond, too, so he was on the Manhattan side. It's wild. All right, orange pin, 2 pin for both lanes. Leonardi first on a spare. To the right of the head pin, it looks like it's going to be a 3 fill. And yes, it will be. Abramczyk. Left of the head pin, drops 6. Got a better leave. 1, 3, 6, 9. Leonardi 1 diamond and 4 triangle. Ball's on the pocket, connects with everything and takes all but the 5. Chase Abramczyk is to the right of the head pin. Misses everything. Anthony Leonardi will take a 10 for 49 and 5. Chase Abramczyk will take an 8, and that will be 39 after 5 for Chase Abramczyk. Only 1 mark for Anthony Leonardi in the 4th. 39-49 is confirmed. Leonardi 49, Abramczyk 39, 444, 4.5 game total for Anthony Leonardi, and 446, 4.5 game total for Chase Abramczyk. Now for our home bowlers here for the final first half of the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, quarter 2 of Game 5. And Martel drops 6 on the head pin with the accordion. Hebert splits 5. Martel will poke the 10. Hebert on the spread eagle minus the 3. He'll poke the 7. That's an 8 box from Martel. Bryan Hebert will take 8. Anthony Leonardi has been averaging 5.6 on the first ball. Chase Abramczyk 5.3. Kevin Martel 5.2. Bryan Hebert 5. Anthony Leonardi 20 for 45 on the head pin with 9 splits. Martel 15 for 41 on the head pin with 6 splits. 6 drop for Martel and a 2 drop for Hebert. Chase Abramczyk 18 for 45 on the head pin with 6 splits. Hebert 11 for 42 on the head pin with 4 splits. Martel, oh, that was the spare shot, but the 1 pin somehow escaped that. Hebert on the left side half Worcester connects with the 6 and the 10. 4 down, 6 up. Martel for 10 box, he'll take a 9. 17 after 2. Hebert, it's going to be, wow, that 5 pin holding on for dear life. That'll be a 7. 15 after 2 for Hebert. Hope you enjoyed this content. This is 3 Ball Spare on YouTube. We would have streamed to the Facebook page this evening, but someone was already on it, so we had to kick in the backup plan, which is to stream on YouTube instead. Hebert drops 2. Martel drops 6. Split 6, and he'll poke 1, 3, 4, 7. Hebert poking the 2 and the 8 on the first ball. Second ball takes the 3 and the 6. 3 and the 10. 6 and the 10, jeez. Pin numbers, Steve, come on. Hebert Martel, 3, 4, 7. Takes the 4, 7, leaves the 3. That'll be a 9. And that'll be a 7 for Hebert. 22 after 3 for Hebert, 26 after 3 for Martel. Martel will take 3 out on the left side. 6-pack in the 7. Hebert will take 1 out, just the 10 pin. And that's an 8 drop, 9. Well, he turns it into a 9 drop on the second ball with the 5 pin left. Hebert, oh, and he just grazes the 6, but extra pins fall. Got a couple of consolation pins for that near miss. Martel will take a 10. 36 and 4. Hebert will poke the 5 for 27 and 4. We'll poke the 3, leaving 5 pins for 27 and 4. 4 horsemen left side, and the 5 was what he left on the deck. 1 ball to go before we finish the halfway point of the 5th and final game here on the Atlantic Open Singles Tour this evening. This doubleheader match. That's a 3 drop for Martel to start out. Hebert's on the head pin with a 7 drop on the triangle, the 3 triangle. And Martel, 1, 3, 9, 10 on the second ball. Hebert misses the triangle. No mark for either bowler. Martel will take a nice 10 box out. And Hebert will take an 8. At the end of the half, Leonardi at 49, up by 3 over Kevin Martel's 46. Abramczyk 39, up by 4 to Bryan Hebert's 35. That's the story. The 5th game is tight. The total is Leonardi up by 63, but Abramczyk has the total only by 19. So in our E-class matchup, it's a bit of a closer match overall. And Abramczyk drops 9 on the head pin. When he's on it, he is on it. Gotta tell you, it's a 1 drop for Anthony Leonardi on the 10 pin. Again, these bowlers are not bowling head-to-head, is away, then home. These are the away bowlers. Anthony Leonardi of Academy Lanes, Chase Abramczyk of Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. He misses the single pin spare opportunity. Anthony Leonardi, though, on this 1 drop, he turns it into a spare. The honorary strike. And that'll be a 9 for Abramczyk. Let's watch that replay again by Anthony Leonardi. Watch this. He poked the 10 on the first ball, but turned it into a spare. Doesn't matter how many pins are in what combination. 10 after 2 is still a spare. Abramczyk joking. He said the pin spotter didn't put down the 7 pin. He said that was the one he needed to hit. Can't say I disagree with that. All right, after the respot, box number 7. Anthony Leonardi has gone 20 for 46 in the head pin with 9 splits. Chase Abramczyk 19 for 46 in the head pin with 6 splits. Abramczyk on the head pin there, right in the pocket, drops 8. Anthony Leonardi on the head pin, too much on the head pin. That's a 4 fill and a split spread eagle. Chase Abramczyk on the 4 and the 9. He just misses the 4, takes the 9 only. Leonardi on the spread eagle. Always pretty when these go. Takes the left half, not the right. Abramczyk for a 9 or 10. He'll take a 9. That's 57 and 7 for Chase Abramczyk. Anthony Leonardi on the head on the right side of the eagle. He's all over it for a 10 box for 73 and 7. Chase Abramczyk remarking, if this were a 9-pin tournament, he'd be cleaning up. Chase Abramczyk's on the pocket there and drops 7, splits 7. And then Leonardi, a 2 drop and a half Worcester right side. Chase Abramczyk up to this point, spin averaging 5.6 on the first ball of this whole match. Anthony Leonardi averaging 5.4 on the first ball. Chase Abramczyk, what a nice spare. Well, you betcha we'll get a replay for that in a second. Leonardi on the Worcester, and the second ball sails where the first ball went. Into the air, into the ocean, air ball. And the Leonardi on the remedial. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a 2-box. Ouch. Well, let's look at something a little bit more positive. Look at that 4-7-10 spare for Chase Abramczyk. Perfectly executed. Just that angled wood on the left side was really helpful. That was a great, great, great spare by Chase Abramczyk. Here goes Chase Abramczyk. Left of the head pin, takes 3 out of the deal. Leonardi drops 5. Chase Abramczyk averaging 5.5 on the first ball. Leonardi 5.4 on the first ball. And will he spare it up? He almost does. The 5-pin holds steady. Leonardi 153, 8-9 on the head pin, dancing around. 8-9 are left. Looked pretty at first, and I thought it had a chance to go. Abramczyk 9 or 10. It's going to be a 9 for 79 and 9. Leonardi on the 8-9. He'll take those out for a 10. 85 and 9, 79 and 9 for Chase Abramczyk. Both bowlers are close to 500. 480 for Leonardi, 486 for Abramczyk. We're on 500 watch for both. Chase Abramczyk first. On the 1-3 pocket, drops 6. His final first ball average this evening is 5.6. Leonardi on the head pin drops 9, a quick 9. His final first ball average, 5.5 for the evening. 22 for 50 on the head pin with 10 splits for Leonardi. 22 for 50 for Chase Abramczyk on the head pin with 7 splits. Leonardi totaling 55 and mark fills, averaging 5 per mark. Chase Abramczyk totaling 67 in fills, averaging 5.6 per mark. Both bowlers missing their marks to the final box. Abramczyk first. He'll take a nice 10 box for 89 for a 5-gain total of 496. And a 10 box for Leonardi puts him at a 5-gain total of 490. Just barely missing 500, but getting within a couple of hairs distance. Maybe a couple of long hairs, but, you know, details. All right. Last quarter of the 5th game here on the Atlantic Hamilton Singles Tour. Hey, before we go, I want to say a couple of special thanks, particularly to our ACST committee members, including our league commissioner, Danny Finn, our E-treasurer, Maurice Perry, our D-treasurer, Nate Lees, 1 drop for Hebert, and a 4 drop for Martel, both missing the head pin. Hebert, no mark. Martel, no mark. I'd like to thank our ACST statistician, Micah Imperato, staff at Lakeside Lanes for always being a very accommodating host every single time. I know they're maintaining a very busy center, and it's always just great that they can fit us in as well on the ACST, especially with the influx of bowlers coming in from Lido Lanes very shortly, starting this summer. We got Bryan Hebert to the right with a 1 drop once again, 2nd in a row. Kevin Martel in the pocket drops 9, leaves the 5. It's Bryan Hebert on the pocket, well, pocket-ish, closer to the pocket. Leaves 4 on the deck. Martel for a spare. He takes it right on it, all over it for a spare. 65 and 7 for Kevin Martel. And Bryan Hebert will take 7 for 48 and 7. 48 and 7, yikes. Had to double check that. I was like, yeah, Bryan Hebert having a rough 5th game here. But total is still not out of the question. Bryan Hebert strikes all the way out. He can get 138 here, so you never know. Hebert to the right, drops 3. Martel on the fill. Thin hit. Drops 4, fills 4. Not in the headband. And Hebert's on the pocket there, leaves the 5 and the 3. Kevin Martel misses the object, but leaves the 1 and the 10. No mark for either bowler here in the 8th frame. That'll be an 8 for Hebert, 56 and 8. And Kevin Martel all the while will take a 9 for 78 and 8. 2 boxes to go before we conclude the match here on the ACST. Kevin Martel's gone 18 for 48 in the headpin with 7 splits. Hebert 12 for 48 in the headpin with 4 splits. Martel totaling 21 in mark fills, averaging 4.2 per mark. Hebert totaling 48 in mark fills, averaging 6.9 per mark. Currently, Kevin Martel is averaging 5 on the first ball pins down, and Bryan Hebert's averaging 4.5 on the first ball pins down, and we are pausing real briefly for some lane maintenance. Thank you, Kevin Davis, for noticing that and checking that out. So to continue our lecture from before, again, check out Candlepin Chat on Facebook if you want to check out some discussion to find out when tournaments are happening or have a question, anything. Check out Candlepin Chat. That's where most of all of us hang out. All right, after a brief delay, we're actually going to be continuing on here. Hebert to the right, drops 2. Kevin Martel on the 1-2 pocket, drops 7, splits 7. Or splits 3. It's the 5-7-3. Hebert all over the pocket, leaves the 4, though. No mark. And it's looking a little bit ever more clear that it looks like Chase Abramczyk is going to take the total at this point. Bryan Hebert does have a guaranteed 4 points this evening. Might be in a 10-4 split. That's a 10 for Bryan Hebert, 66 in 9. He can get to 96 with a triple strike. That's a 9 for Martel. So if Bryan Hebert can get at least 2 strikes on the board and a decent fill, he will take the 5th game. So it's not entirely over yet, but it's just going to get difficult. Let's find out together here. Bryan Hebert on the 1-2 pocket. And the strike, like I said, is not done yet. 76 in 10 and a bonus. Martel to the right of the headpin drops 5. Bryan Hebert, 4.6 on the first ball pins down this evening. 5 exactly for Kevin Martel. Martel on the spare, and his goes too. Nice job for both bowlers. Making sure they got marks at the very end here. Closing out with a bang. So Hebert... yeah, he needs another strike in order to stay alive in the total. And the game. Second ball in the pocket. Oh, he drops 7. All right, so that's probably going to be the story there. And Martel will fill with 5. And that's a 102 fifth and final game and a 5-game total of 437 for Kevin Martel. Bryan Hebert's final ball and the final ball of the match. A 10 fill. 86. 86, and that's going to be... That's going to be it. 478 for Bryan Hebert. And Kevin Martel will finish with a 437 after 5. So that's 490, 5-game total for Anthony Leonardi. 437 for Kevin Martel. Chase Abramczyk, 496 after 5. And Bryan Hebert, 478 after 5. Anthony Leonardi takes the total by 53. Kevin Martel takes the 5th and final game by 7. Chase Abramczyk taking the total by 18. And Chase Abramczyk taking the 5th and final game by 3. And that will be the story of the 5th and final game. And give me 1 second just to compute the final stats here. Here we are once again. And it's going to be a 10-4 split. 10-4 split. Anthony Leonardi taking 10 points. Kevin Martel taking 4. Chase Abramczyk taking 10 points. Bryan Hebert taking 4. Your finals totals for the final time. Anthony Leonardi 490. Kevin Martel 437. Chase Abramczyk 496 to Bryan Hebert's 478. And everyone had a decent amount of strikes this evening. Chase Abramczyk and Bryan Hebert leading the pack with 3 strikes apiece. Kevin Martel and Anthony Leonardi with 2 strikes apiece. The leader of the spares is a tie between Chase Abramczyk and Anthony Leonardi with 9 spares each. Headpin leaders, let's see, that's going to be Anthony Leonardi at 44, followed by Kevin Martel and Chase Abramczyk tied at 38%. And then in splits, because splits are always a fun stat, Anthony Leonardi was the least lucky with 10. And then it was either 8, 7, or 4 otherwise, with Kevin Martel in second place. Chase Abramczyk with 7, and Bryan Hebert with 4. Okay, so all stats aside, Chase Abramczyk moves to 85 and 139. Bryan Hebert moves to 76 and 148. Anthony Leonardi goes to 126 and 112. And Kevin Martel goes to 120 and 119. And you can see the graphs there for the divergence. It was a bit more of a difference throughout the match between Kevin Martel and Anthony Leonardi, especially about maybe towards the midway point of the third game. Chase Abramczyk and Bryan Hebert were much more close throughout the match, as you can see by the lines almost intersecting with each other almost throughout the entire match. But it comes down to the final total pinfall at the very end. And it was a close one between Chase Abramczyk and Bryan Hebert in particular. Hard-fought match. So anyways, that should just about do it. That's the end of the match, and that should be it for us here at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. So for Anthony Leonardi, Kevin Martel, Chase Abramczyk, and Bryan Hebert, I've been Steve Kelly. It's been great broadcasting this to you, and we'll see you at the next Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Have a great one, everybody.